Economics is based on scarcity, the kind of scarcity that wintering animals are faced with in their search for food enough to survive. Scarcity is not an all-or-nothing affair. It can be a function of time. For instance, grass, abundant in summer, is scarce in the winter. Scarcity can also be a function of geography. This bull elk has a whole valley to himself, so he does not need to compete with any other animals for food. In the arena of human economics, societal and individual values can play a dominant role in creating haves and have-nots. Let's look at how this works by examining one of the world's most important natural resources: oil. Oil is a critical component to the functioning of Western economies. One of the first things to notice about crude oil reserves is that their distribution is not uniform across the planet. There is very little oil in Western Europe and Japan. The geographic disparity creates scarcity in some areas. Haves and have-nots. But having crude oil is not enough. After it is extracted from the ground, the oil must undergo a highly technological refining process to result in a product such as gasoline. So crude oil may be abundant in a geographical region, but low or zero productivity in processing it can result in scarcity. When scarcity exists, rarely is the scarce commodity distributed equally among all peoples. Most oil, for example, is consumed by only a handful of Western and Eastern industrial nations, nations that can pay for it. Scarcity of resources, or even the threat of it, can have dire consequences. In 1990, when Iraq invaded oil-rich Kuwait, threatening to create a shortage in the supply of oil, the Gulf War began. Many people died, and an environmental disaster ensued. Shortages, or scarcity, can bring about all manner of human misery and suffering. One of the most appalling situations unfolded in colonial America, where land resources were abundant, but laborers to work the land were in short supply. Initially, the first American settlers recruited poor European workers into indentured servitude to fill the labor shortage. Later, when that solution proved inadequate, black Africans were captured and forced into slavery. Controversy over slavery resulted in a bloody civil war with many deaths, and its repercussions are felt in the United States to this day.
Ready, fire!